Who is ready for a little spring planting? I know I am. We are going to change things up a little bit today and not do a greenhouse chat because the weather is mild enough for us to be out here and get some work done on this flower bed. So let me give you the lay of the land so you can see the flower bed that I am changing completely right now. Hi you guys, this is Nicole from My Carolina Garden. My garden is located in growing zone 8B and I am in Southeastern North Carolina. We are in my front yard right now and this is what I lovingly refer to as my peninsula garden. So my peninsula garden juts out from my fence line this way into my yard, hence the peninsula idea with it being grounded up against the fence. Right behind the peninsula garden there is another flower bed that is closer to the house, and that one needs a major reorganization. A lot of stuff is coming out and new stuff is going in. So let me go and talk you through what I'm going to rearrange, what I'm going to remove, and the new goodies that have color that I just got. Before we get up close and personal and I show you more of the detail that is involved in this flower bed right here, let me point out some things that really have to change. First of all, I have a crepe myrtle tree here. It is one of the very first purchases that I made when I moved onto this new construction property when I had no trees. And I thought this baby was going to be perfect. It has beautiful darkly colored leaves and magenta flowers that bloom on it for a lot of the summer. But it is diseased. It hasn't been doing well for a while. It gets majorly attacked by aphids. The aphids also leave behind like that black soot all over it. It has lichen growing on it. It's done for. So unfortunately, that crepe myrtle has to go, but I do have a baby that was made from it that I have living in a pot. So I will at least be able to carry its life on elsewhere, but this one has to leave. So that's something I need to change. Also, the design of this flower bed was a little bit piecemealed because again, this was one of the first flower beds I did when I moved in here. And so I have a red barberry right here. That doesn't really make sense. I don't love to have that height in the front of a flower bed, front being where the bed ends and the lawn begins. But I had done that originally just to give some height to this side over here along the fence. So I gotta at least clip that back for now and then decide if I'm transplanting it elsewhere. This guy needs to be repainted, I think, in a different way as well, but he's just going to the side for now. All of this brown that you see over here are the irises that I just lost the name of. The tiny ones, they're supposed to have the tiny blooms on them. Dutch iris. These do not bloom for me. I get all the green growth and it makes it look like, okay, what's gonna happen? No, has never bloomed, maybe once many years ago at this point. I've divided it up to see if it was too clumped together. Nothing worked. So these little baby irises need to go. They were given to me originally by someone else, so it's not a horrible loss either. Besides that, I have cleaning up to do around my daylilies that are popping up over here. And then let me just show you that side of the garden because as I said, I got lots of new goodies to come in here right now. So as we swing over to this side of the crepe myrtle that's leaving, this is actually another crepe myrtle propagation that happened. I'm going to have to take that out and find a new home for it. But some of the things I like, first of all, I have a loropetalum here. It's just beginning to flower, so we'll be able to check that out a little bit more. It's all budded up. I love the loropetalum. I love my golden sword yucca. It gives me color when clearly in winter, we're just barely beginning spring now. That is still a standout feature plant and I love it. Other things that I am going to keep. Right here, I have some regular bearded iris and I have one in here in particular that has like a root beer coloring to it and it looks so cool. So the irises are staying, the golden sword yucca is staying, and this is the vermilion air. So that's the flowering plant. It flowers in the fall and it sort of looks like little orange firecrackers kind of on the stems. So I have one bigger one here, one smaller one there. I think the smaller one just gets too much shade, so I might move that one around also. I have my drip irrigation in here. I am gonna have to look out for where the tubing is placed as I dig things up and move things around. but hey, no big deal. Let me show you the fun new stuff. So here we go, back to the wheelbarrow again. This is a willow. Oh my gosh, my parents got this for me for my birthday, which is not until this summer, but it was just a gorgeous specimen. So this is actually called a Kilmarnock willow. It wants full sun, which I have right here in that garden. And let me see, it's gonna grow to about 8 feet tall and 6 feet wide. So this willow is now going to be the focal point in this bed when I take that crepe myrtle out. Besides that, I got a couple of these awesome colorful regal geraniums. If anybody else has early spring flowers going out in their garden centers, you likely have seen these as well. They come in a few different colors. They look so bright and vibrant right now, and I am a real sucker for the multiple colored things, variegation in flower petals or in foliage. I just love it. So the regal geranium, it's saying it's an annual here. Okay, no biggie. It's non-hardy below 32 degrees. It can get 18 to 36 inches tall and wide. So pretty cool, lots of color with this. I have a couple of these exact ones. We're gonna figure out how to place them shortly. Besides those, the annuals were on sale at Lowe's this week. So if anybody's getting ready to start planting some other annuals when they're in these small pots, $1 each. So I have Dusty Miller, I have some yellow viola, and I have some like bright pink dianthus. And then, as if those bright colors were not enough, I also got some of this purple blue pansy with the yellow in the center. So that is going to pair so awesomely with the other yellow pansies. And when I show you this collection of items, you're gonna see why I picked each one of these things. So my willow tree is in the wheelbarrow still. So the Dusty Miller is back here. I'm sure you are familiar with it, but I will just give you a smidge rundown. Dusty Miller likes full sun. It can be 10 to 14 inches high, 12 to 16 inches wide. So as the year goes on, these guys get much, much bigger. The sale, just so you know, each one of these, like I said, was $1. The sign technically says 5 for $5, but I think they each ring up as $1. So I got 5 Dusty Millers, 5 of the yellow pansies, 5 of the pink dianthus. Now these purple blue pansies didn't come as the same thing, so I just was able to get 2 smidgens of these kind of pots. This color combination though of all like these little vibrant things I love, and of course the yellow and purple I love because I'm a fan of complementary colors. And then the regal geraniums kind of go with everything, like all things together. We have a lot of color over here. So step 1 for this day is getting that flower bed prepared. So I have to definitely get that tree out. I'm going to clip back the barberry, as I said, and I will be wearing gloves for that job because that is a spiky, thorny plant, and then kind of move things around from there and see how we're gonna lay it all out. Okay, so some of the things you can see happening are I'm getting rid of the Dutch irises in here, obviously. I do have some little tulip foliage coming up here, but honestly, tulips are annuals for me. It's not cold enough in the winter to really get them to flower the next year, if you're even lucky enough to get foliage to come up. So this foliage is not going to amount too much, so not something that I'm holding on to. And then I have little plant pods. I don't know if they're from daffodils or what they were from, something in the past that didn't make it right here. So we're just doing an all around cleanup in this area. Now I do have, I think these are like mini daffodils over here. So we're gonna leave those alone and see what happens, but we got the green going already. And let me just show you one other tool here. Since we are looking so close to the edge of my flower bed here, I did have someone recently ask me what the tool looks like or what I use to keep my edges very crisp. And this hand edger here is actually what I use. It sticks in the ground, you put your foot down on top of it, pushes in, and I'm able to make my lines crisp and break up any grass that may be growing into the flower bed or weeds or anything like that. So it's just a very simple, I don't know if you call it a foot edger or what. That's definitely one of the last things that I'll do because I tend to do the edging right before I'm going to mulch, which is not happening today. So keeping going with the clearing out. Well, of course, you know how it always happens. Now I took this tree out, awesome. And now I'm looking at the golden sword yucca and I'm like, you're gonna keep getting bigger and you're in the front. Ideally, the yucca should be back further and the irises should be in front of it. So it's like, you open up a can of worms sometimes when you're working in a flower bed, but it's like, while it's all kind of messed up right now or being rearranged right now, I may as well go for whatever changes I'm thinking about, and planting may have to start tomorrow. So back here I have all these daylilies popping up, so I think I'm gonna take some of these, move them forward, and take the barberry and put it back here. These are the tall orange ones that you see wild in a lot of places, so they are tall enough to be a background plant, but I want the shrubs to be moved. We're just gonna do it the right way this time. If you have never had daylilies before, it is definitely important to note that they are tough plants. So I am not overly concerned about how much of the root ball I'm digging out in this case or setting it off to the side or whatever. I don't have to be too delicate with these because they are so tough. They're going to multiply like crazy. They're also easy to divide anytime you want to in your garden. And chances are, by leaving some root remnants around, I wouldn't be surprised if I got more daylilies popping up in the back, even though I tried to dig them up. So no worries on this plant at all. Now, barberries are also tough. Barberries, some people say, whatever you like. This is tough, but my biggest hindrance or problem or difficulty with this is its thorns. It's very difficult to move because of that. Hence, even though I'm getting quite warm doing this work, I am not taking this jacket off until the Barbary is moved. So this is what iris foliage looks like, and this is what the daylily foliage looks like. So they're very different. I can just leave them in piles here until I'm ready to, I don't know, figure out where exactly they're going. I have to say, when I started this job, I didn't think I was going to rearrange every single thing, but that's where we're headed. Okie dokie, so we have a yellow shrub there. This is the darkly colored, like dark red burgundy foliage here. The loropetalum also gets like dark purple foliage with the magenta fringe flowers on it. So I think the next step is I need to dig up the vermilion air, which is one right here and one right here, get them going that direction, and then take the golden sword yucca and move it back here. So it's gonna be like magenta and purple, kind of, a magenta again, and then yellow, something like that. I actually have multiple yuccas in here. Maybe I also take this opportunity to divide them up. So it turns out there's no way I'm getting all of my new babies planted today, but that's okay because I got so much accomplished. I did want to note that I am using this in the holes as I dig them for things that I'm planting. So it's just a starter fertilizer. Sorry, I am out of breath. I'm not used to this. I'm not in my gardening shape yet. More or less, this is how it'll be laid out. The willow tree probably is going to be in that spot. I'm just not sure how I'm going to arrange all the beautiful flowers yet. I have so much vibrant color between everything that's here. I just really want to make sure that I leave enough space for things to grow, like the Dusty Miller, for example, and that sort of thing. But whatever, that will be a job for another day, to be continued. Hopefully you enjoyed seeing some of this spring color and beauty. The dianthus is one of my favorite flowers, so I'm excited to be able to put that in here coupled with the other goodies. Please follow me on social media so that you can see much more in real time things that I'm doing, buying, sales that I'm finding, all of that kind of stuff. And subscribe to the channel if you like the kind of content that I provide. We're back, you guys. It's not officially spring, but early spring planting has started. So thanks for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed it, like I said. And until next time, you guys, happy planting.